Men and women, welcome to CJ Unplugged. Hunter Biden has just led Ukrainian soldiers into Russia to take over a Russian city. That is right. Hunter Biden, as we know, had some business dealings in Ukraine with a gas company or an energy company, I believe. And he has decided to join the Ukrainian army and lead these troops fearlessly through Russia to take over a city. Now, when I first heard this, I thought maybe that Ukraine had taken over some land that was originally theirs, that Russia had invaded and taken over, but I was wrong. It was actual Russian land. So now we are no longer the defenders, we are the aggressors, but I guess since we were attacked, that makes it okay. I'm not sure. Never been in a war, not in the military. Too young for all that, okay? Leave me alone. But yes, as you know, I'm sure you heard last week or 2 weeks ago, they launched an attack. And I think last week they were successful in taking over a small city or small section of Russia, which seems interesting because I thought we were sending money and things to them to defend themselves. But now they are attacking, taking over Russian territory. Are they going to give it back? What are they going to do to the civilians and people living there? Who knows, right? It's war. It's ugly. I believe the area was called Well, this is just one of the towns it says. There's a small Russian territory around Kursk. And then this other article says something about Sverdikovo. In the Russian town of Sverdikovo, a Ukrainian soldier climbed onto another's shoulders, broke off the wooden post, and anchored it to a town council building, and threw the Russian flag to the ground. It shows a video of the soldier tearing a flag to the floor. So that's just interesting. You know, last week I updated you news. I thought the war was over. I mean, we just saw the Ukrainian soldiers dancing on TikTok. I thought that was the final white flag, but it's not. Not only are they dancing on TikTok, they're dancing in Russian territory. So they're going to kick down these doors, invade these poor Russian families. And I'm not an apologist for Russia and Putin. I'm not. It's just funny, because I thought they were the victims here. But, it's war. They hit us. We hit them. I guess that's how it goes. I just thought we were on the brink of losing this thing, and we were getting pushed back a lot. And by we, I mean Ukraine. I don't know why I'm saying we. Ukraine. Ukraine is being pushed back a lot, just losing men and forces and all that stuff, sending billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And now they're in Russia, taking over Russian land. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm just a little American in the American world and living the American dream. So I'm just trying to figure this out. Thought I'd update you guys, though. Another news, Post Malone, I'm sure you guys have heard the new album, has gone country. Personally, I love it. I'm a big fan of Post Malone. I've always loved his music. I think it's really cool to see how far he's come with, his fame and his journey. The type of the style of music he makes. I think it's great. I've always wanted him to go country ever since he kind of hinted towards it, and he's from Texas. It's just, his past music and his looks don't match it, so people are kind of like, oh. But I love it. I think the album's great. I've listened to the whole thing. He's got a lot of features, a lot of great people, and I rock out to it. So I don't know what you guys think about it, but I haven't really read the comments yet or seen other people responding to it. There's probably some hate, probably some negativity. I was building that stuff in my truck on the way to work in the morning, so I liked it. I think it's cool. Post Malone's a great guy. I've never met the guy, but I've always heard from everybody and from the interviews that he's just super chill and down to earth, like behind closed doors and one-on-one in person. So that's cool. You guys should go listen to it. It's called F1 in a Trillion. F1 Trillion. I don't even know the name of the album. I just know it's good. So to start off, we have a few stories, as you know. This is what we do on this podcast. We talk about fun stories. So whatever you're doing right now, if you're at work, if you're on the toilet, if you're at school, it's not even school yet. If you're at school, sorry, it's August. I don't know why you're in school. Whatever you're doing right now, I know you enjoy these stories, and you're welcome for bringing these to you because you wouldn't have found these on your own. I guarantee you that. So I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to give an unbiased opinion on all these. We're going into non-political now, so buckle up. It's going to get fun. First up, we have I guess this might be political. It's military related. I don't know. We'll find out together. German warship blasts Darth Vader anthem in heart of London. I don't know what's called Darth Vader anthem because it's the Imperial March. Get it right. Come on, nerds. But it is London. Let's give them a break. Across the pond. They don't know that much over there. Germany's Navy SEAL says there was no deeper message in the choice to blast the famed Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme song in Star Wars films, from one of its warships as it cruised down the river Thames through London this week. No deeper message. as we hear the Imperial March theme song of an evil man who killed thousands and thousands of people, wiped out planets, and is part of the dark side. March Down a River. That sounds great. I know it's a great song. We all cheer for Vader, right? It's kind of he's the best villain of all time. And even though we want the Jedi and good people to win, kind of rooting for Vader, right? It's Anakin. Let's call him the right name, Anakin. Anakin Skywalker is the greatest Star Wars character of all time. If you disagree with me, I don't care. This is pretty fun. If I saw a Navy warship with cannons and dozens of men ready for war, listening to the Imperial March theme song, Darth Vader theme song, whatever it is, as it rolled down the Thames River right into Ukraine to kill millions of Russians, it's pretty sick. It's probably not, it was just on a stroll. It's not actually going to Russia to kill anybody, I don't think. But that's pretty sick, right? I just thought that was a fun story to share because it popped up on my thing. And I love Star Wars, so you're welcome. If you don't like Star Wars, I'm sorry for wasting 5 minutes of your time. We're going to save the best for last because we have got another banger on the list. But next up, we have a Georgia mayor who's facing felony charges for stashing alcohol in a ditch for prisoners. The mayor of a small town in Georgia has been indicted on charges that he illegally left a bottle of gin in a ditch for a state prison work crew. Now, he didn't go to jail for leaving the alcohol for the prisoners. He went to jail because it was gin. Really, dude? Gin out of all the things? Could have left some White Claws, some Buds, maybe some Coronas, Trulies, whiskey, anything. Gin? That's what we're leaving for the prisoners? As if it's not hard enough in there? We're going to give them like 40% gin? What are they going to wash it down with? Toilet water? I mean, it's prison. They don't have much to work with, right? The cafeteria doesn't just have apple juice and orange juice, unless it does. I don't know. Guessing that's a small town in Georgia. I'm going to assume not. Because here in Spokane, I've never been to jail. I've not been to jail or prison. But I'm assuming here in Spokane, Eastern Washington, we do not have orange juice or apple juice or any sort of mixer or chaser to mix gin with. So this is interesting. I mean, these are also prison men, so they've had probably some hard lives, maybe some violent offenders. So drinking gin probably is not the hardest thing they've done in their life. So I understand that. But again, I think he's facing time because of the choice he made, not because of the alcohol. And boo-hoo, some prisoners drinking gin. End of the world, right? This is a fun one. Mayor Benjamin Benji Carey Cranford, because his parents hated him, what a name, was indicted on Wednesday and arrested by Georgia Bureau of Investigation agents. He faces felony charges of furnishing prohibited items to inmates in an attempt to commit a felony. We have some kids next door, as you can tell, that are being tortured by feathers and Nerf guns. I actually don't know what's going on. There's a film studio next to us. The studio I'm in has a podcast room, which we're currently in, a music recording room across that way behind the camera, and then a video production room where we walked by and I saw a bunch of kids in there. And as we got in here, they were screaming and running around and hitting the walls. So I don't know what kind of commercial they're filming. This is not Adopt a Pet. This is not Adopt a Child. This ain't a foster care system commercial because it's not convincing me. Whatever's going on in there is not convincing me. So I apologize for those interruptions if that does happen. I don't know how long they're in there for, but let's hope the mic doesn't pick them up. Onward. The indictment issued Wednesday in a McDuffie County Superior Court says that the 52-year-old Cranford drove to a store on June 3rd, bought a bottle of Seagram's Extra Dry Gin. Dude, I can't tell if he was doing them a favor or if he just hated them. What kind of person buys extra dry gin for prisoners? That's just like a slap in the face. Those prisoners probably went to prison for stealing alcohol. And this is his final screw you. Little slap in the face. Little last laugh. Little I gotcha moment. Just slide them down just straight 50% moonshine. Moonshine's not even 50%. It's more than that. But yeah, you get the point. This is evil. He left it in a ditch along Georgia 150 in Thompson. And I guess a work crew found it. So a work crew of state prisoners. I first read this thinking it was the prison workers getting it, but it was prisoners doing like the community service, where they were on the side of the road picking up trash, and you drive by and your mom goes, "Don't do anything bad," because that's going to be you if that happens. So that's how this happened. What a smart guy. How did they catch him? This is interesting. On June 6th, police asked the GBI to investigate the claim that Cranford gave alcohol to inmates. Agents arrested Cranford at Thompson City Hall after a city council meeting and led him away in handcuffs. How embarrassing. Cranford didn't answer any questions from reporters after he was released from the McDuffie County Jail on Wednesday on a $5,000 bail. Now, this must be a very small town, right? Because in, King County, Seattle area, if that was the mayor of King County or Seattle, however that works, I don't think his bail would be $5,000. It'd probably be much more. Someone would still pay it, but this seems like a very small city in Georgia. He has not yet appeared before a judge. This happened in June, first week of June. It's now August, mid-August, end of August, and the trial has not happened yet, so I don't know how much information we're going to have. But Cranford won the election last year, beating a 12-year incumbent, Kenny Ursery. So this dude was so motivated to get these prisoners gin. Maybe this is all just an inside job, right? Maybe he was in jail or he worked at the jail. Maybe he knew he was in prison. And he was so desperate to do this, even though I guess anybody could do this, right? I could drive down by the prison right now and drop off some Trulies if I really wanted to. But maybe this is an inside job. Maybe this dude wanted to get the position in office just so he could do this. Who knows? I truly think they're recording a commercial. One dude had like a giant wavy thing and was holding it in front of the child. I have no clue what's going on. Before we talk about our last and most fun story, of course, I wanted to mention I got to see Sean Gardini this last weekend on Sunday here at Spokane Comedy Club. It was super fun. I got to sit front row, bought some VIP tickets because got to support the dogs, Guard Dog. And it was a really great show. All the openers and the features and the hosts were super funny. The entire show was great. Everybody had a good time. And then afterwards, I got to meet him, talk to him, get a picture, and he actually ended up coming over to the bar next door and just hanging out and talking to us. He was super cool, super friendly, super down to earth. Great guy. Love you, Sean. Sean Gardini's the man. But yeah, it was just cool. I got to hang out with him and talk to him for a few hours that night and just chill in a bar and just talked about comedy, talked about being on the road, talked about his home in Pennsylvania and how Texas is and all them. But it was a great time. It was super fun. So shout out Sean. Go follow Sean Gardini on Instagram. Super funny dude. This weekend, I'll also get to see James McCann and Shane Gillis and a few other feature comics at the Outdoor Festival comedy show. I don't know what it's called. But Tom Segura is coming the day before. Kevin Hart's coming the day after. It's a full weekend event. It's crazy. But I'm going to see just Shane Gillis on Saturday. Looking forward to that. Obviously, I will tell you how that went. We got some decent seats. Not the best, but not the worst. And I think it's going to be a fun show. I think it's a few hours long. I know the feature comics I've heard of before. Kelsey Cook is one of them. And then, I can't remember the last one. But all great comics. I'm super excited. That'll be tomorrow when this podcast comes out. And so, yeah, if you're there, let me know. It's going to be a fun show. So as you know, we haven't changed studios because I have been too lazy to sign up for a consultation for the next thing. Because for this one, all I have to do is sign up, show up, and you don't need someone else to work with you. I have my brother here as the audio technician, if you will. But in the other one, the other studio I was talking about, you have to sign up and have some sort of walkthrough and have the guy show you how to do everything and work everything. And haven't done that yet because I'm too lazy. But it is a closer location, like I said, with a nicer studio, with a nicer backdrop. So I don't know why I haven't done that yet. But here I am, still driving 25 minutes to get here and pay for parking. But maybe in 2 episodes, if I'm not lazy enough, if I actually kick myself to do it, maybe it'll look different. We'll see. But I also thought about getting a haircut. I was originally getting a mullet this summer because my hair is quite long, if you guys can see. I wear a hat because my hair is way too long and crazy, okay? Trust me, I wanted to wear no hat. I wanted to have the hair out, but it was just afro. So we're wearing a hat. But I think about getting a mullet maybe, even though summer's ending. I don't know how a mullet does in the winter. I think it's a little weird. It's like wearing flip-flops in the winter. Something like that. Yeah, I also thought I haven't air dried my hair in a long time. I also don't have a hair dryer. Maybe that's why. But last time I air dried myself. Dried my hair with an air dryer. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a woman. Give me a break, okay? I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, but when I do use a hair dryer, my hair gets really straight and fluffy. Like right now it's curly and kind of thick, but it'll just be super frizzy and straight. Then all of a sudden I start craving Starbucks and want to start a music career. So it turns blonde too. It's weird. All 3 of those things happen at once. I'm like Taylor Swift. So that's why I don't straighten my hair or air dry it or whatever. I just keep it natural. I just get out the shower, dry it off, and that's how it looks. Also been riding horses. We're just going to have a little story time. This is what this podcast is because this story's so good. I'm just waiting. But I got to fill up time. I got to entertain you guys with some other stuff about my life, okay? For those of you who don't know, I work on a horse farm. Yeah, I work on a horse farm, which is crazy. I also have a marketing job. 2 different lives. I'm like Secret Life of Walter Smith. Is that Smitty? Secret Life of Walter Smith. That's the correct name, right? Walter Smith. Smitty. Walter Mitty? I don't know what the name is. But that's me right now because I have a marketing job, white collar, finance bro, marketing job. Went to school for marketing, have a degree. But then I also work on a horse farm. Very redneck. Drive a truck. And it's becoming the death of me. I'm not going to lie. It's not super fun waking up at 5 a.m. every single day before the Lord Jesus himself. But we still do it every single morning. Not every single morning. I just got weekends off, which is a blessing. But that's why doing stand-up is hard because I got to be up at 5 a.m. And my job ain't sitting at a desk or stocking shelves. It's working on a farm. I don't know what's called a farm. There's only horses there. We don't have plants. The only thing on there is just overgrown weeds. But it's called a farm for whatever reason. But it's just horses. No cattle. And I just feed them, take care of them, shovel their dookie, and just do other jobs around the farm. But anyways, I've been riding horses recently. That's what I wanted to get to. Horse riding. Western style. Super fun. It's very interesting controlling a horse and doing that whole shindig. But I got to say, it's very fun. It's more fun. It's more interesting than like a bike or like a motorcycle or a four-wheeler or whatever because it's a live animal, right? It doesn't have a steering wheel where you go left or right brake. You got to yank the thing. Sometimes it doesn't always work. You get a stubborn horse. I've had great horses, luckily, quarter horse. And then the other day I rode a thoroughbred. But I know all of them, their names. I'm learning a lot about horses. I don't know all this technical stuff, so if you're watching and you do and you get mad at me, sorry. I'm still learning. There's a lot to learn about horses. So much stuff. But I'm getting a good grip. Just wanted to share that. Horse riding is fun. And eventually I want to learn how to rope and do all that jazz. Maybe barrel race. Probably not. Maybe just rope. Practicing roping. But yeah, that's my life. As promised, it is that time to get the last story of the evening. Even though it's not the evening, it's the afternoon when I'm recording this. But when you're watching this, it might be the evening or morning. I don't know. Of the day. Methamphetamine, again, we talk about meth a lot. Maybe not a lot. This is our second time. Last week it was in candies. This week, drum roll please, disguised as watermelon. A shipment of watermelon-sized methamphetamine. Let's say that again. The headline. I'll read you the headline. Methamphetamine disguised as a shipment of watermelons seized at U.S.-Mexico border in San Diego. Now, we're going to get a picture up right now of this watermelon, right? Now, there's watermelons that come from Wish and Temu, whatever that is. And then there's this. This might be worse quality than the dollar store. If I bought a watermelon at the dollar store, this might be worse quality. I don't know who they're fooling. I don't know who they think is checking these things. Maybe they thought since it was in a container or shipment, it'd just be like a kind of a peek. Like you look through the little the cracks in the wood, and it's like watermelons, but I don't know who this is fooling. A truckload of methamphetamine disguised as a shipment of watermelon was seized at a U.S.-Mexico border crossing in San Diego, U.S. The methamphetamine, valued at more than $5 million, was found August 16th, that was last week, when the cargo aboard the tractor-trailer from Mexico was unloaded for a detailed inspection. Among real watermelons, so they weren't all dumb. We had some real ones in there. They're just trying to save money. They're like, we could have just carved the watermelons and then I've seen those videos. You could just cut the top off, empty the inside of the watermelon, get the toothpicks or something, or glue. I don't know if glue would work, but then you can put all the meth inside there and then put the top back on so it doesn't look. I don't know how you get it to weigh the same because I don't think meth, even though you have a lot of meth here, $5 million worth, could weigh as much as a watermelon. Watermelons are heavy. Anyways, back to the story. Among real watermelons, officers found 1,200 packages wrapped in paper, colored to look like watermelon skins. It's just too good. The total weight of the packages amounted to 4,587 pounds, and testing determined the contents were methamphetamine. The truck driver was turned over to Homeland Security investigators. Oh man, that's all we have. So this is so recent that there's more pictures here. Oh, this is good. Did you see all the pictures? There's more. There's a comparison of the real. Okay, so there's a picture up right now of the meth melons. Meth melons is going to be the title of this episode. Meth melons and then the watermelons. And now I can see how they got caught. was close. It was a good try. I think they should start coming to us for tips. If you're smuggling meth or any other drugs across the United States and Mexico border, and you need help doing this, because clearly you guys suck at this. I mean, the last one was in Denmark or New Zealand? Yeah, New Zealand. That one got busted. If you are smuggling drugs anywhere in the United States, contact me. I will give you my advice. If you are smuggling drugs anywhere around the United States or world, any border, contact us. I will give you my advice first, okay? Don't be these people. Don't get caught coloring watermelons like a fifth grader. Actually, the fifth grader is pretty generous. First grader. Trying to smuggle them across the U.S. border. This is America, okay? We're going to catch you. We're not going to catch the 10 million immigrants coming across the border. We'll get these watermelons. That's for sure. Don't even try us on that. Don't even try us on the methamphetamine. Fentanyl, though, come on through. We can't catch fentanyl from nothing. But if it's watermelon, crack watermelon, meth melons, we'll bust you. It's not happening. That's not happening on our soil, okay? It's America. But anyways, I think if you are smuggling drugs anywhere, just contact me first. I'll give you my professional advice, even though I've never smuggled drugs or done drugs before in my life. But I am a smart person. I think I could be a good criminal. And when I see this picture, I just go, how was this the best of what they had? How was this the greatest idea? Who came up with this? I'd like to talk to the guy. So yeah, I may not do drugs. I may not smuggle drugs, deal drugs, sell drugs, whatever. But I think I could do better than this. I think if I had money, let's say I was smuggling money across the border, across a border somewhere, right? Theoretically. I could come up with something better than this, okay? In fact, right now I can already think, like I said, you hollow the watermelon out, you throw rocks in there, maybe some weights, something to make it heavier, right? Money, cash, it doesn't weigh that much. You shove them in the watermelon. Maybe you got to put them in a bag though, so it don't get wet. Then you have red, soaking wet watermelon money, which isn't good. It's gonna be like Kool-Aid money. Oh, where's the Kool-Aid guy when you need him? Do they consult the Kool-Aid guy for this trip? This is gonna be a good look. How's their stock prices doing right now? Did this affect Kool-Aid at all? Did he want to make a statement about this? 'Cause I'm pretty sure watermelon Kool-Aid is one of the most popular flavors. If I'm not, I don't drink Kool-Aid. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know there is a watermelon flavored Kool-Aid. Back to my idea though of smuggling money across the border. If I were smuggling cash, lots of cash across the border, U.S. and Mexico, let's say, no drugs involved. What I would do is I would make clothing that looked like Benjamin's, $100 bills, and I would just tape real hundreds on my shirt and be like it's art. Can you get arrested for, is that like, just say they're fake, or just say it's like a print. Make it, what's that one thing they call in middle school you do, the Oregon paper mache. We're going to paper mache $100 bills on people. Probably find an orphanage somewhere. Going to get the orphanage, offer all the kids. We're going to find an orphanage, offer all the kids $100. Not a home, not a family. Sorry, guys. But offer them $100 each to paper mache Benjamins on themselves. All over their clothes. Their shorts. Maybe we'll do pants and long sleeves. But unfortunately, that won't work. It's going to be 95 degrees because it's southern border. But maybe in the wintertime. Wintertime, December, when it's colder. I don't know, it's 40 to 60 degrees, right? Long sleeves. The shoes, the socks, the shirt, the pants, the underwear, everything's going to be papered mached of $100 bills. And we're just going to say it's art. We're going to say it's printed on there. It's fake. It's like, have you seen people with those money shirts? It's ridiculous. They're stupid. But like they got them on Amazon for $8. And that's what I just say they were. I just say they're printed. It's art. It's not even real. But I wouldn't let them touch it. You could probably get away with like 3 at a time. You could stack like 3 bills. I don't know. Whatever's not noticeable. Because as soon as you get a certain amount of bills, there's going to be like a raise. You know what I'm talking about? A thickness to it. So I would probably do 3 to 5 bills at a time. Stack them, paper mache them, glue them. You're good. Just like that. 50 kids. And that's probably $5 million. Just like that. They got busted for $5 million doing watermelons. And that's a lot more difficult. Now, how would I get the orphan kids across the border? I don't know. How did 10 million of them come across the border this last year? Seems pretty easy to me. All right, I lied. We have one more story for fun because it ran across my eyes and I was curious about it. Thought it was fun. 2.34 billion ton discovery in Wyoming. I don't know what you guys are thinking. What's Wyoming? I'm sorry, Wyoming? Is that a city? Wyoming, is that a football team? No, Wyoming is a state. It's one of our 50 states. And yes, it does exist. I've been there. There's only about 500,000 people, which is much less than any population of any animal on this planet. There's probably more rhinos than people in Wyoming. Be willing to bet that. They made a shocking discovery. They found a bunch of materials in Wyoming. Over 2.34 billion metric tons of some of the rarest materials on Earth. Now, something tells me if you find 2.3 billion metric tons of something, it's probably not that rare, right? Can you imagine 2.3 billion metric tons of diamonds found, rare diamonds? Yeah, I don't think at that point, I think the price of the diamond would just plummet. I don't know how you can call something rare if they just found 2.3 billion tons, billion metric tons. I'm just going to say tons. I don't know what metric tons. I don't know the difference. I don't know if it's important to decipher that. But can we still call it rare at that point? Because it sounds pretty common to me. It sounds like you'd stub your toe on it. I mean, just think about how small Wyoming is. It's just a square. It's probably just all of Wyoming is just this rare material, if I'm being honest. Experts believe this bonanza could result in a mining frenzy that hasn't been since the California gold rush. Yeah, no one's going to Wyoming for this. They're going to do what I do right now. They're going to read this and go, 2.3 billion tons of, what is it, coal? Iron? You can find that stuff in Minecraft at home. Nobody's going to Wyoming for this. They really just compared this to the California gold rush. Yeah, that was gold. And it was also California. There's 39 million people living in California for a reason. It's next to the water. You got like the north part, the south part. It's diverse. We're not going to Wyoming for some iron and coal, okay? I know you want to talk up your state, right? But this isn't happening, okay? Not everyone's driving and flying to Wyoming to get whatever this stuff is that they haven't even named yet because apparently it's so rare. So it says here there's a potential of $80 trillion in opportunity along with it. Yeah, good luck convincing me anything in Wyoming is worth more than $5,000. The idea that there's $80 trillion worth of something in Wyoming is hilarious. I mean, that sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money, right? $80 trillion. That's a lot of money to California. But the idea that there's that much there in Wyoming, I'm reading this thinking I could get involved, and I don't even want to. What are these elements? Tell me what they are. So it says here, for AI to continue this rapid growth trajectory, we're going to need insane amounts of this material. It's simple math. The more rare earth elements, the more AI. And sure enough, like manna from heaven, we just so happen to be sitting on the mother lode. The idea that AI, right? Silicon Valley, California, New York, all the tech states, Chicago, all the big cities where AI is happening. The idea that the minerals that's going to make AI a thing is coming from Wyoming, that's a little ironic, isn't it? Out of all the states you would have guessed, right? Out of anywhere in the world, Singapore, Japan, somewhere in France. I don't know. I don't know who's the AI elite. China, right? The idea that the mother lode of this material for AI to happen, to exist, to expand is coming from Wyoming is comical. That's great. I wouldn't have guessed any other state, honestly. Yeah, so I guess the minerals it's just a mix of minerals. I've been looking on the article for the name of the minerals. Like, what is it here? We're talking about gold, diamonds, coal, iron. What is it? It's a certain material used for like the chips and AI. Like that, the reason NVIDIA is so good. Oh, just hit that. The reason NVIDIA is so good, right here, right? NVIDIA's going up. They're doing the AI stuff. They're making the chips, the graphic cards. Apparently all that stuff is made out of this material. So that's why this is big and important and fascinating. Not to me. I don't care. I don't use AI. ChatGPT sometimes got me through college. I already graduated, so I can admit that now. I don't care. Which, by the way, I was going to mention this September is going to be interesting for me because this is the first September in my life. 21 years old. This is the first September in my life I'm not going back to school. So it's going to be really weird. I finished school last year. Yeah, I finished school last year. Got my degree. And yeah, this will be the first fall where I'm not going back. It's going to feel weird. Maybe a little sentimental. Maybe a little sad. But probably not. Follow me on Instagram at cadenkaiserman. That is at CADENKAISERMAN. There you can find my link tree to my TikTok, my Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, everything. And I'll be posting any sort of updates for shows, open mics, all of sorts of events, podcasts, YouTubes, stuff like that. All the fun things. Update with my life. Also post some fun pictures. It's not just all comedy. Occasional bangers in there of like Glacier. Some beautiful pictures. So it's a mix of everything. It's my life. Check me out. So follow me over there on Instagram at cadenkaiserman. Thank you so much for listening. Good night.